Okay guys, I'm back, and I know that I was showing you how to do the holes, and like I said, you can go in and you could do like I did, where I was punching by using the first one as my sign here. It is as I can't even think, as a template, you know, because you can go in and you can use your Martha Stewart punch hole, double punch hole, and you can line it up. And what I did is, again, I used the two marks holes on the side, and I centered it that way. If you want to put in more and you want to line up more, you could do that. Again, I don't suggest it because of all the rings that it will eventually cost you. So I really wouldn't do that. Because, again, you know, the rings do get costly. I mean, if you want to spend the money and put 4 or 5 rings down and then put all the strands and the fibers and the ribbons on the side, you could. 3 would be the maximum I honestly would put on. But I have started to where I started only putting 2 on these particular type of paper bag designs that I do. Only because it solidifies the left side and gives you that free movement when you open and close it and move it around on the top and bottom. So, again, I use the regular hole puncher to punch holes in the next one. And, again, you can, and I'll show that real quick. I don't know if I got it before, and I'll show it on at least one more hole. But I just used it, as you can see. And I just used that regular puncher. Now, you could use this just directly. If you don't have the Martha Stewart or EK or whatever is out there, you don't have to. It's okay. You guys don't feel like you have to go out and blow a lot of money. Don't. But I wanted to show you some things with this mini. This particular mini paper bag, and this to me is the angled paper bag. Very simple design. And I always try to look for sometimes a simpler way, but yet gives it an extra look. When you're doing this, and I want you to see this, when you're doing this particular bag album, you're going to put a full-size sheet on here, and you'll measure it. You'll measure from this end to this end. So you're not going to measure from the corner. You're going to want to measure from here to here. Once you get that on there, then again you can use your paper bag as a template like we did with the other ones, and you will be able to cut your paper that way. So know that you do that with this page, and make sure you put your paper on before you put your eyelets. Then you can put your eyelets. You could design it any way you'd like. Now when it comes to the inner side, and I want to show you this, and I'm not going to get full into that because I'll let you guys do that. But again, you measure this piece. You put this piece on. You measure from here to here. I always go over, not necessarily on this edge, but you have to be careful when you do this because the ends of the bags like to roll a little bit. So you want to go over, and I mean just literally a hair on the end here. And then you're going to want to go over more than just a hair, maybe an 1/8 of an inch, just to cover your hiney. And what I use is I use strong tape. And I don't know, I know I have it here. Which space I have it at, I don't know. But you guys all know what the strong tape is. It's the orange tape. And you will line right here to here with strong tape. And you will strong tape this edge here. And you will strong tape this edge here and here. I don't think you want to see me do tape. It's kind of boring. And then you just solidify it down. Before I do that, and I want to show you this, before I actually put the tape on the bottom, you can go ahead and put the tape up here. I actually put my piece of paper in here. Now, this is where I measure my paper. And I don't use this angle here. I measure, and I want to show you this. I measure from the inside of the flap to the end of the angle of the bag. And then I put this piece in, then I put the strong tape in. And then I peel the 2 strong tapes and pull it together. You're going to want strong tape. Nothing else will hold it, you know, especially with the wear and tear. That will, at this point, give you that pocket. And then, you know, if you're doing the eyelets, depending on which side or decorated eyelets, which side you want to put them on, you know, it'll come through on this side. Now, I used a regular hole puncher on this, as you guys can see. I didn't use the Martha Stewart one. I didn't have it at the time. But then this is where this gets fun. And when we get to the flaps. Now, again, I will show this in full details on my website. But when we get to that, this is already going to be covered. I want you guys to know this. You're going to already have this covered when you put your paper on it. You're going to actually flip this back once your paper is there. And you don't need anything but your finger for this. You could use a bone folder but you don't have to. But you can see now where that flap is, and you'll do the same thing if you want to this side. You don't have to. I usually, you know, do and don't. Depends on what I'm doing. And so that now you have your two flaps, and you can see that now. And so now that you know how I did that, and again, on the front side, I did not do the flap, or on the back side, though I left this one optional, and you'll see that. I didn't share that before because I haven't got into sharing this album completed yet. But, okay, so now you have one bag, two flaps. And you're like, okay, so how do I do that? So that's super simple. When you take your paper, you're going to have a lot of paper left over. And I'm going to, like I said, I'll do this in full details. What you do is you're going to glue this flap right here. You see this flap right here? Just this piece, and you use stick glue. The old-fashioned Elmer stick glue that's acid-free. And it's super cheap. And matter of fact, it was at Walmart, I think, last week for 10 cents a piece. And I literally stay stocked on that. So you take your angle of the paper, and once you have these two areas glued, you're going to take that paper that you have extra, and you're not going to know exactly. And I just leave it there. I rub it down real hard. And then I go in, and you're going to think I'm crazy. I use an X-Acto knife. You can use your scoreboard, feel free, or you can use scissors. I use the X-Acto knife to get these edges, or I do a straight cut with my X-Acto, or with my cutting board right here, to where you get that full line across. And then I use the X-Acto, or you could use a cutting board. But that will give you your flap right here, okay? And then, of course, you're going to go into the other side, and you're going to do the same thing on the other side. When you get that done, you will do a detailed piece of paper on this side, and like I said, stick glue. This will actually stick. When you put paper on this is stick glue, or you can use, you know, your straight, fast ATG gun. I use the ATG gun on the bigger pieces, on the big flat pieces, or on the big flaps here, because I'm usually in a hurry when I'm trying to get it done. But I use the glue on here, and I use the glue on these flaps. So there, guys, that's pretty much it. And then you can detail it however you wish. When I do, if you see on the Justin Bieber album, when I do a slider and I do a ribbon here, before I actually close it up with the strong tape, I will take the ribbon and I will actually put the knot inside, and I will put the slider out here. So when I do close it up, because it'll stick on one side to the glue, the other side of the glue will hold it down. So then I get this little slider, this little piece. Again, if you're curious to see what I'm talking about, go back and look at my Justin Bieber album, and you'll see that. But it's that simple, guys, and I hope you like this design. There'll be many more designs on the paper bag album, if not by me, by followers that want to teach it. But again, you guys all know that there's a ton of different ways to do the album. So now you know how I do these albums, and again, that gives you a clear shot to easily right here do a picture. You can slide a picture behind it, and if you do this just right, and you just anchor it down, and you'll see in some of my albums, you can anchor it down even with an eyelet right here on both sides. And this gives you a flap to perfectly just put in a matted picture. And then you have an extra space underneath to, again, like I said, refer to my